Hello. Right, so today's video is going to take the form of 3 parts. Yeah, for warning you now, 3 whole parts. Part 1 is to me the most important, if I'm being brutally honest. And it's me saying a big thank you to people. Once we've gone beyond part 1, we'll be going to, surprisingly enough, I've actually got this well organised, part 2. Part 2 takes place up here somewhere. And hopefully we'll try a bit of exploring and see what happens. Probably won't work, but we need to. We need to have a go at this. And part 3 is a really me explaining about some previous videos I've done. Part 2 of this video and how they all stitch together in what I can only describe as, well, sort of me making a tenuous sort of link between it all and trying to piece stuff together. But it is genuinely interesting. I found it interesting. So yeah, hope you'll enjoy it. Right, I'm going to nip up this pass now. See you on the other side. Now I'm hoping my senility doesn't get the better of me. Because part 2 and part 3 are linked by part 2.5, something like that. Just up here, just like that. Tommy Cooper, in case you haven't heard it, brilliant impression. Hate that overhanging rock. Now it's going to be difficult trying to capture part 2.5. I think, anyway, because this is a clearway and I am not going to breach the clearway. That is the object for part 2.5. So remember that for later, because it's tenuously important. It's not important now, no, but it was important back then when I'm talking about it. Any good? Yeah, any good. Does it look like, oh yeah, does it look like I might be able to squeeze in a bit of the parking space? Yeah, that's good, right. Part 1. Let's get this done first because this is part 1 and is also the most important. It's nice here, isn't it? What do you think? I quite like it. Have a quick look. There we go. That just shows you where we are. That way, Capel Curig, Betsacoid. That way, Aswater. That way, Snowdon. And Penna passes around the corner. Beth Gellert's down that way. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is this. I got a message from someone who should remain nameless only a couple of days ago. And they pointed something out to me that I hadn't been aware of. I just want to say this. Thank you very much indeed to every one of you, every single one of you that watches and subscribes to the videos. This week, I finally got into 4 figures with my subscribers. Yes, I've got over 1,000. And there's 1,000 of you out there, nice little community. And I just want to say thank you to every single one of you. Some of you just watch, some of you watch, like, some of you watch, dislike, that's fine. Some of you comment after having watched. That's good too. Some of you, and you know who you are, have given me advice. You have inspired me to do things and helped me with different bits and pieces over the last few years, and the last year in particular. So yes, my videos are rubbish and amateurish. They are not a professional output. They're never meant to be. And I just want to say really thank you, every single one of you, every single one. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy some of the rubbish that I put out. It isn't meant to be anything more than a bit of a light-hearted bit of fun, but I hope it inspires people also to get out on bikes, whether they be, I mean, I'm on that today. Whether it be that, whether it be an Enfield, whether it be a sports bike, I don't care. Just go out, enjoy yourself, be ambassadors for the sport of motorcycling. Yeah, so I hope it does give some people some inspiration, and I hope it makes people want to come and visit not just Snowdonia or Ruri, where we are now. I hope it just makes people want to be more inquisitive about where they live too. Search out those little bits of hidden history, bits of hidden information. Some of it very important history to the world, some of it very trivial, but important to the people that were there at the time. So yeah, big thank you to everybody, and it really is appreciated more than I think you probably would realise. So thank you. Yeah, now why am I here? So this brings us to part 2. So if you just bear with me a minute, we're going to set ourselves up for part 2. Part 2. And for that I need to go over there, sort of there. Got to go and pay for parking. So yep, see you in a minute. So here we are, pulling up in this here part of the world. It's a bit windy up here, isn't it? Okay, so we're now going to pay for a spot of parking, and then we'll be back with you in a minute. So here we are in part 2. It's quite nice surroundings, laid by the road, beautiful surroundings. Okay, so what I need to do, we're going to go up this way. But what I need to do is take you back to a video I produced a while ago, well, a couple of videos I think it was, and the trip I did with Los Peredosos. the bunch of tourists from Cornwall. So yeah, day one we went to the Ogden Valley and then couldn't see anything, went back again the next day, and I was getting them to look for a pillbox which they couldn't see, and I eventually went back. Over a couple of videos I took you to it, but we weren't sure what its purpose was. Since then I've been doing a bit of research. We'll be looking at the purpose in part 3, but meanwhile, just up here, guess what? I found another pillbox. Yes, nothing quite like a bunker, is there? I am going to see if I can explore it. I'm obviously not the first that's been here. I won't be the last, and it's particularly boggy. Ye gads, that's wonderful. Right, so here we go. Closed off there. Oh, I reckon that would have been the entrance, because it's a door. Doesn't look like we'll be able to get in. Okay, and then around there. So yeah, that door, that looks like it's been shot at, doesn't it? It's locked in place using a bit of old railway track. So we're not wanted inside, that's quite clear. And the thing is, I can't use my phone at the minute because I'm using it for something else. While we're waiting, let's just do a quick circumference rather of the bunker. That's interesting, there's nothing coming out this way that's protecting that way. There's a little gun port there with the old metal plate on it, and looks like a piece of old rail for the lintel. There we go, you can see that there. Don't suppose for 1 minute you can see anything, but hey ho. That's interesting, isn't it? You can just pick out little bits of reinforcement with the granite and concrete on top. Oh, there's a little round hole. that's a lot bigger plate, isn't it? So I'm wondering if we've got a bigger aperture there. It goes across there, rivet there, it's a bit of a weld, all the way to there. Okay, so if that's the case, that's what we're looking at. We're not having that much looking down the valley, which is that way. The trees probably wouldn't have been there in those days. We're looking this way. All very strange to me. Oops. So here's another one down there. Answers on a postcard. Blah 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 blah. So as I was saying, when I was messing around, clambering up the slope. God, it's nice around here, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, as I was saying, during World War II, we had in Llyn, which is over there, really. Okay, just over there, just over that small bump, Llyn, sort of ish. There were defences, and the group, Los Perezosos, etc., and myself, we didn't know what it was about, and I put it down to the Saunders Row factory over at Beaumaris. Well, it might have been something to do with it, but I was wrong. I know I was wrong because I've been reading up about it. Nothing like reading a few really interesting books, and that was nothing like it. No, it was a really good book actually. These defences were here because of what we're going to see in part 3. There was more going on in Llanberis than we knew about. Now, originally we've been down to the bomb store, haven't we? Do you remember going to the bomb store, the one where the roof caved in, etc, etc, because they didn't build it, they were being cheapskates. Not that ever happens today. But yeah, there was more going on there, and I'm hoping, if my research has been any good, to be able to tell you a little bit about it. I can't open the door, it's jammed shut, it's been locked, but that's it inside. I just don't suppose for 1 minute we can see anything. Hope we can't see any bodies or anything. That could be quite awkward. I'm not being funny about that either. Let's see if I can slip that in there. Give it a few minutes to see if it can adjust to the conditions. That's a shame, because it would have been nice to have had a little sit inside and see what it felt like. I can imagine today, summer. It's not a cold day, but the wind is already coming towards me from Bethgelert, so from the sea. Yeah, so you can really feel it. But this was yet another outpost. Now, part 2.5 we'll hopefully just see as we drive past. We can't stop by it, but you should see a little bit of concrete with a bit of metal sticking out of it. I'm not sure whether it's threaded bar or rebar or what it is, but that would have been probably a gun emplacement. God, in the winter that would be bitter. And now we'll go on to part 2.5, quick spin past it, and we'll tell you about part 3, about what this little place was protecting, because I can't imagine it's going to be protecting much here other than the legendary Peniguras Hotel. Down here at one point there would have been a gun emplacement. God, it must have been horrible in winter, mustn't it? there's one there it is. Gun emplacement. That would have been to protect the pass from bombers. So this lot is all connected to Brooklands. Now, Cranberries, we mentioned the bomb store earlier. What I didn't know was there were a lot of huts there somewhere else relating to why the defences might be here. So we've arrived just outside Cranberries, as you can see. This is Cranberries here. That over there, let's see if I can zoom in a bit. That over there is Cranpadan. That bit up there, excuse the fingers, that will be Dolbadan Castle. What we're specifically interested in is that area over there. I might be able to get some shots further around the corner. So that area there is what, apart from the bomb store we've already covered before, but that is what the gun emplacements and the bunkers for here and probably for Llanogwyn as well are trying to defend. Because there, some huts were built in basically a factory, and you can just see the tunnel, which may well be that one there. See the car go in front of it now. That was where they decided to set up a factory. So what's happened, and what's it got to do with Brooklands? Right, so Brooklands, well known for being a motor racing circuit, isn't it? Well, this has got nothing to do with motor racing for a change, nothing to do with motorbikes, but to do with aeroplanes, because it also was the hub of aircraft manufacture. So before we can even go that, we need to go to Croydon. So Croydon, wonderful place. It had a big aerodrome in the day, and it also had an aircraft manufacturing facility. Now Croydon, for those of you that are outside the UK, is in the southeast of England, just south of London. London during World War II was quite a target for the Germans, for the Luftwaffe, to go and bomb. And of course it'd be quite easy on the way there, why not just drop a few bombs on Croydon? So they did. They attacked a factory, and it was August 1940 something, I don't know the exact year, I can't remember. I should know. As I was saying before I decided to go and check my notes, it was August 1940. I can't remember the exact day, I think it was something like the 11th or the 15th, something like that. And they bombed a factory there. And it was called Rollinson Aircraft Services. So that was bombed. Now the problem is they're doing a lot of planes for the war effort, aren't they? Because it's World War II and aircraft, World War II, etc, etc. So they needed a place to be a bit safer to build planes, or parts for planes. Now Brooklands was and stayed being a hub for manufacturing different aircraft, including the Lancaster bomber, but parts of it needed to be built. A dummy name was created, and over there parts for Lancasters were created for many years, right the way through until basically the end of the war. But just remember, this is what they were protecting, and probably therefore a degree of what the Ogwen Valley bunker would have been protecting. A secret factory in the middle of middle of two lakes really, creating parts of Lancasters. There's some superb archive photos of at the front end of the bombers being built. And then I believe, don't quote me, but I believe it's Queen Mary trailers were what we used then to take the built up items and carry them all the way back down to Brooklands, down to Weybridge in Surrey, where they finished building them. Well, there you go. End of part 3. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little trek. I'm going to maybe get some other shots going around the corner. But apart from that, I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting. And once again, and most importantly, thank you to everybody for all your support. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and all that malarkey. See you soon. Bye.